One of the best pieces of advice that my mentor Sharon gave me a while back is to show, not tell. And today what I want to do is I want to focus on essentially just kind of showing you what kind of happens behind the scenes at Sheridan Street, how we set live transfers, how we book appointments for our real estate agents from really around the world. We get the opportunity to work with real estate agents and real estate professionals all across the world. We get to interview agents, but more importantly, we get to help them set them up with first conversations. And what I want to do today is I want to show you our call center. I want to kind of walk you through some of the tech that we use in order to send you live transfers and booked appointments. Still early on the West Coast. It's only 8 o'clock, so we still have a bunch of agents that haven't popped in here, but we've already this morning made 3,200 calls across of our clients' accounts. You can see our drop rate percentage here is super low. But generally in a day, we're making anywhere between 50,000 to 100,000 calls a day across all of our client accounts based on obviously how many leads they have. So if you have a lead list of 9,000 people, we can get through that because currently right now as we stand, we're sitting at 44 active calls across all of our client accounts. So we use a predictive dialer that, one of my friends, Jason, set us up with last year. And the predictive dialer essentially is set up in a way that it dials people on a consistent basis, and whoever picks up gets the phone call. So it's different than a power dialer, where a power dialer will dial one number at a time. We can dial multiple numbers at once that give us the ability to essentially, connect people live. So right now, as it stands, we have 3 active calls happening where agents are talking with buyers and sellers, and the whole entire goal is to get them connected with a buyer or with a seller, get our client. So essentially what we're doing is, as soon as the call gets connected, what's going to happen is you're going to get connected live with a lead, and the live lead, we're going to ask them a series of questions. How many bedrooms and bathrooms? What's the most important criteria that they're looking for? Say, for example, they tell us that they want a big backyard. The agents are trained in a way in order to dig deeper and even potentially overcome objections, but dig deeper. It's like, hey, Mr. Customer, if you don't mind me asking, why is that important to you? And then what we're going to do is we're going to transition when we get you on the phone with the actual prospect. We're going to say, hey, Tom, I have Rick here on the phone with me. Rick is looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. His budget is $1 million. And he mentioned to me that he wanted a big backyard. And the reason that he wanted that big backyard is so his kids can run around in the backyard, safely. And we have a dog and everything, so that that handoff can be super, super smooth. And you can have a really great conversation. And then, super grateful for Sharon putting together the Why Don't We So That frame that essentially books in-person meetings. Yesterday, got news from one of our clients that he's already booked 2 in-person meetings. His account's been live a little over a week. Tons of live transfers, but 2 in-person meetings with people that are pre-approved, that are ready to go. You're getting the opportunity here when we dial out. So not only are we dialing leads from online on a consistent basis for you, some of our clients have dedicated agents that work inside of their IDX, but also we can dial online leads fast. So if you have a large list of 9,000 leads, we can get through those leads fast and find the people that are ready to buy and sell real estate, and give you an opportunity to be more of a knowledge broker. So this is kind of an example of kind of what it looks like in the back end, where it's you'll know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, where they're looking for, how soon are they looking to buy. This person's looking to buy within 6 months. They want 2,000 square feet. They own a home, but they own a home in another state. So you're going to have all this information by the time that you actually get to the lead, and everything's tracked. So you can see, is it an in-person meeting? Is it a phone meeting that was booked? What is happening kind of on the back end? And there's different pipelines that we work. We also manage listings. So, say for example, you have a listing lead, you have a brand new listing, we will actually dial those and circle prospect around that neighborhood for you as well. So you can see, amazing. We have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 active calls, 5 active calls happening right now in our call center. And the ISA's role is and then we have inbound calls coming in. So say, for example, a lead comes through the pipeline, and they get a message here. So let's give you an example here. So say, for example, a lead comes through the pipeline with Sheridan Street, and they go in and they get like a voicemail, like, we send out ringless voicemails. So say, for example, they get a voicemail or they get a text message. When they call back, that call gets routed into the call center. So sometimes what will happen is we'll send out what we call a reactivation campaign. So I'll give you an example of a good reactivation campaign that is working well. Hey, if I were to send you a list of homes, would you prefer houses or condos? Or, if I were to send you a list of homes, would you be interested? It's Sharon calls it a sorting question. Would you be interested in, a remodeled kitchen or a big backyard? That's an example of a sorting question that essentially, but sometimes what will happen is the lead will pick up the phone immediately and call you back, even though you texted. And that call, you can see here, gets rerouted back into the call center. So we have 2 live calls happening right now where we have 2 people talking to one of our call center reps right now. And this actually came from a Stoyanov campaign. So it tells us specifically where the call is coming from, who's answering the call. So we have a morning shift and we have an afternoon shift. So right now we're on our morning shift, but you can see that off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 agents that have been live for about an hour have already made about 3,500 calls. I think they've been live for about an hour, maybe a little bit less than that. So we're just getting started for the day. And, the agents, what they do is they, obviously they celebrate their wins. So let me show you an example here. So in our sales team chat, we're tracking all of this. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've done 5 appointments. Yeah, we've done 5 appointments so far this morning. And we've been live for I think 40 minutes, 50 minutes. But the bigger thing is again, this rapid fires at some point, where we're going bang, 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 and we're sending live transfers and sending booked appointments. But I wanted to take you behind the scenes of kind of the software and kind of the flow of kind of how our system is set up. Because the other thing that we do is we'll send out reactivation campaigns. So, this is an example of a client here. So this is a voicemail like I sent out. And then, the person inbound called the lead, the actual lead inbound called. So it's a massive opportunity and a massive win for you as a real estate agent. If you really want to make calling a priority, we don't just run ads. A big portion of what we do is circle prospecting, getting people on the phone, setting appointments, sending live transfers. The best results we're seeing right now in the space, hands down, and the best results we're seeing in the space currently is with live transfers. It's literally the handoff is we generate the lead, we get the lead from Facebook, Instagram, Google. We also have a relationship with a data broker that can get us verified homeowner list that we call as well. If you give us a list, we'll circle prospect the neighborhood and circle prospect the area. But what happens is the lead comes through, they go into the call center. They're also going through lifetime nurture. So there's 3 proprietary systems we use in order to actually, drive results for our clients. One is deal of the week. It's something that, I spoke about last week to a bunch of real estate agents. We have training around that. A deal of the week, we take care of market update, and we take care of what we call email sprinkler. And essentially that's nurturing the lead. So as the leads come through, they go through sequences of at least 3 emails and multiple text messages throughout the week, making sure that they're getting high value added content. And something newer that we just added. So the account I was just showing you, something newer we just added was actually hiring, training, retaining a dedicated agent. So an agent that would work 40 hours a week, not only dialing for you inside of our software, but 40 hours a week actually inside of your IDX. We essentially we would be responsible for hiring, training, managing the KPIs. And really that's kind of the high level overview on kind of how the system works. I wanted to take you behind the scenes because it is a pretty robust and powerful system. To get everything integrated, we do all the integrations for you. We work with you on the back end to essentially do 80% of the back end work. Sometimes what can happen is a really big focus for us is making sure on the front end speaks to the back end. So on the front end, it's creating a really irresistible offer. So right now, what we're finding across multiple campaigns is new construction campaigns tend to be working really well if you can run new construction campaigns, or doing some sort of circle prospecting with with a really great offer. So right now, new construction is working really well because of, closing cost coverages. But we're also picking up resale. So we're leading in with the new construction, but we're picking up resale on the back end because of the fact that, the offers generally are better on new construction. So just because you run a new construction campaign doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get resale. You're still going to pick up people through resale. They're more drawn to the offer. So we're seeing those are working really well right now. But the name of the game is dialing. Like, one of the things that I want to encourage you with is, whether you decide to do this for your own real estate business this year, whether you decide to hire an ISA, they say that the average time that realtors spend following up with leads is about 1.7 times. But the national average in order to convert a lead requires at least 35 touch points in order to even get a conversation. When we say conversion, what we mean is like even get the conversation. So that's why we have to continually follow up with them in multiple mediums, whether it be retargeting them on Facebook, or whether it be calling them, or whether it be, you have a mail out strategy. That's another strategy that you can implement. But it's like, how can you create those 35 touch points? One of them being dialing. And, we like, Sharran says this all the time, is like, you are 10 times more likely to get the client if you meet with them in person. So that's why we essentially use our why don't we, so that frames that allow us to book more in-person meetings, that give us the ability, the call center, to essentially overcome the objection of like, hey, like the market is crashing. I'm not sure if I'm, if I'm ready to move. It's like, we have scripts on how to get those types of people that, want to make a move. They're just not educated. They just don't know what's available to them. Really, really interesting stat that I want to leave you with today. I was at a NARREP event. So I spoke at an event in Florida, probably 4 or 5 months ago. And there was a lot of money at that time available in the marketplace. And there's still a lot of money available in the marketplace. But the stat that was really interesting is the vast majority of people get their information from friends and family. But the issue with that is the vast majority of friends and family don't have the right and the correct information. So that's why it's so important for you as a real estate agent, for us to connect you with people, so you can have quality conversations about their specific circumstance. Like, what is their circumstance? Like, can you, we call this speed of process. How quickly, if they're approved with the bank, how quickly can we get them to a lender, to a mortgage lender, or 3 lenders? If you're in Ontario, you need to be sending them to 3 lenders. How quickly can we create the process of getting them to those 3 lenders so that we can actually help you fill your front end, so you can have more and more conversations? But then what does your back end look like? It's like you have that front end conversation. It's like, how do we get them to multiple lenders to see what they're approved for and how they can max out their buying power based on, their specific circumstance, because every lender is going to be different. So, tons of things that we work with you on. The biggest thing I wanted to walk you through today was just understanding on a deeper level, how the call center works, how we qualify. But if you have any questions about that, just DM me any questions that you have about the call center. But I hope that I was able to bring some massive value to kind of explain to you kind of how we work on the back end, how we run the ads, how we track everything. One last thing I do want to show you is, like, we do everything that we do is completely tracked inside of a program we use called Sweeto. So not only is it tracked inside of here, you can see, like, this is a system that we use for dialing. What we're also doing is this is just a dummy account here. What we're also doing is we're tracking calls made, automated appointments, how many appointments we set for you, what is your attempted live transfer, is it a successful live transfer? Like, we're tracking all of that. So let me show you. So yeah, so we're tracking calls made, ISA appointments, attempted live transfers, what's your pickup rate, how many email deal of the week have you submitted? So we're tracking all of that for you on the back end in order to make sure that we have tracking on the back end. And then what we do is we encourage our clients to track their stuff. What is their speed of process? How many conversations do they have? How many have they booked into an in-person meeting? How many did they have under contract? It's like, we really look to create a partnership with our clients, tracking the front end metrics. And then once we give you the handoff, then obviously your sales process takes over. So hope you had a ton of value. Hope that all makes sense. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and we'll see you all soon.